I have missed KFC so damn much. So I'm going to put matters into my own hands, start my own organic KFC from my own kitchen. Will it be the same? No. Will it be delicious? Probably. Will it be expensive? Most definitely. I haven't eaten chicken or beef, anything but fish, for around about 9 years now. And I remember it very well while I was facing a plate of shepherd's pie that my mum made me because I was becoming more aware of how that plate got there. As someone who grew up with a dad who goes fishing a lot, and I'd watch him catch fish and deal with that, and I would see that process, but realizing the meat industry as one which not only is really suffering in terms of the farming industry and how farmers are crying for help right now, but also I was aware that like all of my friends, all of my family, most of my family didn't know how their food got to where it is. Most alarmingly, didn't care to know. There's even an extra additional layer of extreme here. They chose not to want to know because they knew what knowing would involve. There's one thing of being ignorantly. There's another thing of consciously choosing not to find out because you know it's gonna put you off. That to me is the exact same as marrying someone you know is toxic as hell, but because you haven't looked at the text messages in your reality, it just doesn't exist. He never cheated on you because you've never seen the evidence of that. Wild. So today's choice is the kind of thing I would usually tell people just to dabble on your own. In the same way I made the choice of going pescatarian, that wasn't an announcement I made on the internet. That wasn't a big announcement I made to my friends and family. It was just I don't feel right with this right now and I physically can't eat that, so I'm just going to not right now and see where I go from that. But today's video isn't really me saying I eat meat now or I am only going to eat organic meat now, or it's not saying anything. It's a sort of experiment with aligned values. So I'm really trying in every aspect of my life, and this goes way beyond just my diet. I'm trying to make sure I'm living in alignment to the things that I truly believe in and sit comfortably in my heart, in my gut. I've never really been one of those vegetarians, pescatarians that say we're not supposed to be eating cows, we're not supposed to be eating pigs, we don't eat chickens, that's not what we're here for. I actually do believe everything is here for a reason. In the same way, if there was a scary thing out there that ate us, I would understand that was the way life was. What I don't believe the way life is us creating factories and machines in the most horrifying ways to make that work for us. The whole point of a system being able to survive on each other is the fact we actually give that system some fucking ability to survive too. You know, it's not just manipulating something to work out so that one part of that food chain purely starts existing just to benefit the other side of that food chain. How are you benefiting their part too?
Just in case you weren't able to tell, this video is a very old video. It's taken this long to edit and upload simply because I've been trying to save some footage, some very important footage of this video. Probably the most important clip of the whole video got corrupt after I transferred all of the footage from this video onto my hard drive of myself actually eating, like my very first bite wasn't included in this video because that exact clip just vanished. I can't even preview it because I would have literally screen recorded or something. I would have made something work, but it's being so particular. I'm not sure whether to take that as a sign or not, but I am still to this day, almost a year later, eating meat. I can confirm. It doesn't really matter that that clip's not in it, but it was to me quite an important clip because I literally cry in it and all sorts, and I felt like it was quite a big chapter in my life where I was doing something for the first time in 9 years. But either way, it's a fun little video and I'm glad I've caught this journey of my life, as I always do for YouTube.
When you discuss with meat eaters about why you don't eat meat, one of the first questions you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to come out with is, so if it's just you and a pig on an island, would you eat it? It's not about me saying, no, I would never go near a cow to save my life. I would never let anyone touch any animals if I was in charge. Like many things, it's not what we're doing, It's the way we're doing it. I have also had people ask me what I think pigs and cows are there for. I believe everything is so perfectly in balance and in check in this world without us interfering it in the ways that we have through technology, unnatural methods of survival. Yes, they can benefit us and they're massive tools. I would not like to live back in the day, let me tell you that. But there is a line and I think we've crossed it. Let's say I married a farmer next year, right? Which again, people think I'm against butchers, people think I'm against farmers. Obviously you've got to bring ethics into that and morals and the way that the business is run. But if I married into like a farm, I would get behind that lifestyle in a flash. Like, how are you raising those animals? How are you killing those animals? If you're not raising and killing those animals, you're paying someone else to raise and kill those animals. Do you know how they've risen and killed the animal? Yes. Fine, eat your McDonald's, I don't care. If you can see and face and understand that, I actually don't mind. Like, I don't care for meat eaters that are eat. That is your life. I'm not a dictator. If you, however, choose not to look, not to know, and continue to eat anyway, that is when I have a problem. And so as someone who does support the farming industry and partly doesn't eat meat because they don't like the way the world contributes to that, has decided is a normality within that. Sure, it's not contributing towards it, it's not really becoming part of the problem, but it's not actually doing anything else either. Like, I'm just sort of standing over here watching the world burn, deciding not to help burn it. But then I also realize there is a better way, a conscious way of bringing animals up and ethically providing meat and nutrients and whatever it is meat gives us, which honestly I've found in a lot of other foods anyway, because I've dramatically changed my diet. It's very like seed, nut, herb, vegetable heavy now. I very rarely eat frozen food, but I'm not really helping. I'm just sort of not helping. I'm just kind of here. Stand in the lane that you preach to stand in. A lot of people really struggle with the idea of putting money where their mouth is, because there's so much out there telling us that we run out of money easy, we should save our money, we should hoard it like a fucking bird in a bird's nest, keep it under our ass with no intention to use it, even though we are so fickle human beings and this ceiling could crash down on my head and kill me tomorrow. I think it's easier to practice what you preach in terms of like treating your friends nice and saying the right things and like maybe drawing a lot more if you tell everyone else to draw a lot more. But when it comes to money, it's hard. It's really fucking hard. It's a lot easier for me to spend the same money I would have spent on meat, on vegetables and other bits over here, which does help to some degree. But then what are we kind of communicating to the bigger picture through doing that? Partly, yes, we don't need all this high demand of meat. People are eating so much meat a week and that's actually just gross in itself. But it's also communicating that we don't need meat at all. Lots of topics here for us to discuss. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'm sure you will anyway, because this is such a heated topic. However, this arrived today. A box I highly anticipated, I looked forward to, I felt proud of, but I also felt this sense of like dread, intrigue. I've been looking for locally sourced, ethically, I mean like free range, local farmers that give a shit. The best kind of meat I could possibly get. This is bought with my own money. This is part of the whole living in alignment with your values. But I've been hunting for local farmers and it's actually very fucking hard. And the fact it's hard made me want to do this even more, because I want to put my money into businesses and companies that exist even though it's fucking hard. A lot of businesses do not exist because they simply cannot when people aren't willing to give their money to them. And I'm not saying that little old me is going to do a massive difference, but it's a ripple effect, people. Like, if you're not putting the money where you believe it should be, what message are we communicating? Not only to the world, but to yourself. If you are the reason these businesses cease to exist, partly the reason why they close up, blame it on society and say that, oh, it's because, you know, they charge too much, or like, people don't have the money these days, like, cost of living. But something's got to give. Now let's go to the less preachy side of things. I often get asked what I miss. Do you even miss eating meat? Mostly, no. I actually love veggies. I was born a little bit weird. I know not many people say that. I love a veggie, actually. I'll tell you what I do miss though. The odd occasional, which ironically was one of the first things I gave up. I actually was confirmed in my pescatarian decision when standing in KFC and looking at like all the chicken that I was gonna buy. I just had these flashes of like invasive thoughts of all the videos and content and information I'd looked over about how those chickens got there, and I was like, I can't do this. So like the first thing I gave up properly was actually the thing I missed most. Let me tell you, if there was an organic, free-range, premium, bougie KFC out there, I've tried the vegetarian SFCs or whatever they're called. It's not the same. It's not the same. Nor will this be, because I'm making this myself. But I'm going to try my very best. I've got all the things I need, and so I have missed KFC so damn much. So I'm going to put matters into my own hands and start my own organic KFC from my own kitchen. This is genuinely the first time I'm ever going to have chicken for 9 years. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in the form that I loved chicken in the most. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Will it be the same? No. Will it be delicious? Probably. Will it be expensive? Most definitely. They happened to do 2 for 1, 3 for 2 for a total of £20. They're quite small. How do I feel knowing I'm going to eat this? I don't know. I have very mixed opinions. Skinned, boned and frozen. And I got all of the stuff that I'm using to make the 7 for chicken from the market, from like little local stores and stuff. So I'm doing my best.
So in goes 7 ounces of corn flour and then almost 4 ounces of plain flour. And I've chosen paprika, about half a tablespoon, as well as cayenne, which you don't need a lot of if you don't like spicy food, but I do. Garlic, salt, loads of this. White pepper, half a tablespoon again. Black pepper, again, half a tablespoon. And a dash of table salt. That's all of the dry mix done, and I'm going to move on to the wet mix now. I'm assuming this is going to be like second nature when you've done it a few times, but now I just feel like, I don't know, this is a lot, but it's not at the same time. Because I've just noticed in my cupboard I literally have a pre-made 7 fried chicken seasoning jar, so you can get all of this stuff together anyway, or you can make your own mix and save it for another day. Yes, it is easier to go and get this pre-made, but that's kind of like defeating the whole point of this experiment, obviously, because otherwise I would have done that years ago. Sometimes the things that you want in life and that you stand for is not easy. Okay, onto the wet mix, starting with something which I don't think we have enough of. Milk. In here goes the milk, 125 milliliters. The same amount that went into the dry mix goes into the wet mix of paprika, and the same stands for cayenne, garlic, pepper, white pepper, and black pepper. Give them a good old mixy mix. Don't even ask me what it's supposed to look like. I mean, actually, me saying that this is a lot to do, it actually isn't. I mean, it's the thing that takes the longest, getting all of the ingredients in the first place. But once I have them in, I'm going to use them a lot. More the merrier on my spice rack, so that's fun. I think the hardest thing for me is going to be working with chicken for the first, like meat for the first time. It sounds silly, but I'm having to think about how this has been stored and like, you know, how it's going to manage, because it obviously traveled here, so I'm like thinking about the fact it had to be kind of refrozen, and is that okay, and like health stuff that comes with meat that I haven't had to think about for 9 years. It's weird. So if you see me doing something questionable, that's probably why. I don't remember what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna wash my hands and then kind of, oof, God, slice this up as much as possible. I'm gonna do just thin little strips. I mean, now I'm looking at it, like all sliced up and stuff, it does look appetizing, like it looks fresh. But I don't know if that's just a mental thing. Like it looks very clean Anyway, so I'm gonna find a kind of right-sized pot. I only need a small saucepan for the oil because I don't want to use a lot of oil just for deep frying because that means a lot of it will probably get wasted. But also I don't really know. I've looked online and apparently the best way to know if the oil is hot enough is to dip your spoon in it. If it fizzles, bubbles around the spoon, then it's hot enough to start putting the chicken in. Now for the coating part. I've forgotten which way we go. So it goes in the wet bowl first. I'm actually so nervous. It's stupid, man. Chill out. Right, then in the dry bowl. Look at that. And into the wet bowl again. Wow. I can feel it getting sticky.
You got a bit more space.
I'm just professional.
Just to show that you don't need to worry as much as you do sometimes.
It's a first time thing, I guess. Oh, we did it. It's doing something. Okay, so just wanting to have a little look. This one here, because it's sticking out a little bit. Wow. Doesn't that look so good? The really cool thing as well is that you can experiment with loads of different things that you haven't seen online or experiment with ones that you have. So you can make it super garlicky, super spicy.
That looks like more professional.
Doesn't it? This is probably the best one. This is the first time in a long time I've had chips as well. I've basically made myself a little organic KFC. Ooh. Smells so good. So the rest of the chicken is doing its thing. My mouth's actually watering. 9 years. All I can say is, be the change that you want to see. I can't believe I've made that. From what I remember of chicken, this is like juicy. Mmm.
Spicy.
This bit doesn't seem to be. I just can't believe it. Does it feel weird knowing your girlfriend's eating meat? He's never known me to eat meat. This is when you're like, it's not that good. I'm just thinking it's good because I haven't had it in so long.
That's nice. It is quite dry. But that's what happens when you overdo it, really.
That's also what happens when you don't soak it. These last ones I've soaked in milk.
Might be a little bit extra.
I've eaten chicken. Guilt-free as well. That confirms to me why I didn't.
Good thing that you're doing it for that reason until you actually eat it. And then if you get like a sense of, like say like a sense of guilt, then you just don't do it anymore.
In a show or something, a drinks from whatever, you know.
Do you know what I've just realised? This isn't even the skin. Imagine doing this to the skin. Crispiness as nice as it is.
Even if it's like a drumstick.
That will have to be my next move. Good, isn't it?
Well,
Oh, it smells like KFC too.
what added the spice then?
Look at it. This one's soaked. Oh,
That was nice. Then. You feel like you're more perfected at that.
letting it soak makes a difference. I think it would be good to slice into the chicken to make a piece that's got a lot of bits sticking out, because this is what happens when you do that. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, feel free to subscribe if you like this kind of content. Comment below, let me know what your own thoughts on this matter is. I know that this will be an open discussion for the end of time, basically, on my channel, because videos like this always seem to cause a little bit of an uproar. So I'm a little bit nervous about feedback, but this is my life, my journey, my thoughts and feelings, so respect them and respect others. Like this video if you enjoyed this kind of content, this kind of conversation. And if you didn't know, I'm a tarot reader, so if you want to book a tarot reading in with me, all you're going to do is find my bookable calendar down there in the video description, and I'll see you there. Bye!